Okay, so we have Dawn Gibson here at Retreat with us, and she's gonna tell us one of her spooky, eerie, creepy stories. Go, Dawn.
Okay, it's a very short story.
Okay.
But and this is recent, like 9 months ago.
Oh,
maybe, or
wow.
something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So anyway, so our office is a 1920s house.
Okay.
It's been converted to an office, and I don't know much about the history of the person.
It's like a dentist office? Or
Yeah.
okay, okay. Oh, sorry.
You can say dentist.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an office that it's
Okay.
a house being converted into
Okay, got it.
a dental
Office,
office.
yeah.
Yeah. And I know that it was built in the 1920s, but
Okay.
I don't know much about the person that lived there. But
Okay.
the boss does. It's someone she knows. So anyway, sometimes, when we're not working all
Mm-hmm.
week, we'll go in and do extra stuff around the office, and it's quiet. So I went in the office to clean the office
Okay.
one day, and to vacuum and dust
Uh-huh.
and mop all the floors.
Wow,
And-
that's kind of you.
yeah. Anyway, we just do because we don't have time to do it when
Yeah.
we're working. So this one, and there's always noises.
Yeah.
Like
Old
I swear-
buildings
Yeah,
and-
old
Yeah.
building kind of
Strange
noises. And I
noises.
feel sometimes that I literally hear someone knocking on the door, like
Yeah.
trying to come in.
Oh.
And
Interesting.
so I see that all the time. I don't think anything of it. So this one time, I'm mopping and I'm in the waiting room, and I had just mopped I just vacuumed and mopped the floor, and there's a little hallway in between, so I kind of mop the floor to walk myself
Yeah.
down the hallway.
Yeah.
And I turn around to open the doors that I am going to go into the other little rooms to mop the floors. And I turn around and there's footprints in the floor.
Whoa,
no,
that
that's
is
so cool.
Yeah, so I'm
wild.
like, and it was funny, and I
Wow.
knew right away they were little footprints. And I'm like,
Wow.
because our daughter has
Yeah.
really small feet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that looks like a lady's footprint.
Yeah.
Maybe like someone's got
Wow.
6.5 size feet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
So
small.
I was like, oh, okay, yes. So there's literally like 2 footprints.
Wow.
2 feet prints in the wet floor.
Wow.
When I turned
That is
around.
wild.
I know,
Oh
isn't
my
that-
god.
Well, what did you do though?
Oh, I was like, okay. I wasn't freaked
It was
out.
like, wasn't
Yeah,
like
it
a
wasn't-
weird,
it wasn't
scary
weird.
vibe. It was
Yeah,
just like,
it was like,
hey, this is
that's
strange.
kind of cool.
I would have been like, damn, you left on my floor.
Yeah, right. I remember back to that. So anyway, so I asked Quinn on Monday, did the person who owned this house, was she a little lady with small feet? And she said yes, she was.
Wow.
So I knew right, because it definitely was not a
Yeah.
kid's play.
Right.
It was definitely like a little lady's
Interesting.
play. And it was funny, after I mentioned that, Danny, my co-worker, turned around and said, yeah, there's plenty of times I've been in the office by myself and I just hear these sounds, like almost like someone's flushing the toilet or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's
So,
some.
so they totally
her
all believe
spirit or
also that they
something
think
is
that the
carried
person
on
who,
there.
the person who owned the house is actually really grateful that there's someone in it
Yeah.
and
Oh,
using
okay.
it, and would be the kind of
I think
person.
that your
Yeah.
gut would feel a weird vibe if it was creepy.
Right.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a weird,
Yeah,
it was
Yeah,
malevolent or
yeah.
something.
It was
like,
just a
Yeah.
kind of acknowledgement of, oh, that's interesting.
yeah, like, is this really?
Or
for
she's
real?
like, you missed a spot.
Yeah. Every time I'm alone in the office, I swear
Just
I
hear
can see it.
something.
I mean, I know buildings make sounds,
Right.
but it's like, but it's definitely definitive sounds.
Right.
Like someone's
Okay.
knocking on the door, or someone closed the door.
Interesting.
Or so
yeah.
that has been going on for a while.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So
Wow.
yeah. So
you
then
have
I'm
a
like,
friendly, the lady
Yeah.
of the house ghost.
Yeah. So then
Wow.
I've got-
Well,
that's
thank
my-
you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
Sharing that. So so my office in Olympic National Park has changed, but when I was over in the administration building, which was the superintendent's house long time ago when the park was put into place in the 1920s. So it's an old building, but it's been really renovated over the years. I mean, really renovated. But the stone structure on the outside is original, and there's some original parts, but there's a lot of like add-ons and
Yeah.
office area changes and hallways and whatnot. But I would be down because my office is on the first floor, and I would be working late, late, like sometimes like 11 o'clock or midnight or 2 a.m., depending on what time in the fiscal year. And I had all this workload, and sometimes I'd take a break around 4, and then I'd come back at like 6 and then just work till midnight or whatever. And I would often, it sounded like somebody was just walking upstairs
Yeah.
in the hallway, but then it would sort of fade out.
Yeah.
But it just
Oh.
sounded like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
footsteps,
yeah.
and I knew no one was in there, and
Yeah.
it didn't give me a creepy, scary vibe.
Yeah.
But if I was completely quiet and typing, I would often like find like maybe rain noise or something on my
Something to
phone,
drown
and
it
it's just
out.
like I don't want to think about it too deeply,
Yeah.
and I need
Yeah.
to continue working,
Yeah.
and I don't want to creep myself out because just being in alone in
Yeah.
a building like that
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that late at night is
Yeah.
a little creepy on its own.
Yeah.
But like I'm like you, I never got the creepy feeling vibe.
No,
It was
never.
it was just like, did I hear what I thought I
Right,
heard, or
yeah, right.
is it
Yeah.
just a building making noise?
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
yeah.
it's no
And it's
good.
not like our building actually is really that noisy as a
Yeah,
house.
right.
But
Okay.
yeah, but it definitely now has made me more aware
Uh
of
huh.
like, okay, was that just the wind?
Right.
Or was that her saying hi again? Kind
Well,
of
and
thing.
now you're
So-
like, are you thinking like, okay, now I really don't want to be like disrespectful of something?
Like if somebody's
or-
watching you.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
don't get
okay,
that feeling.
okay.
I honestly feel like she's enjoying someone being in the space.
and using
Yeah,
it
and using it and
yeah.
just being
Oh,
there.
cool.
Because I feel like that in any
Yeah,
house almost.
okay.
That
Yeah.
it always needs people.
Yeah,
And so
okay.
it's just, and even Quinn says, I think Rini, I think was her name,
Yeah.
would be delighted that there was people actually in her house.
Huh, okay.
And it's-
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, so.
So, growing up where you grew up in England, did you ever have any neighborhood stories or
No,
people passing
no.
on stories?
Just
Okay.
all the, old homes. Well,
Yeah.
actually, now that you say that, I forgot.
I mean, it's a really old country.
Yeah,
older
that's
than we
true.
are.
It was actually, it's funny. So I went to Hinchinbrook School, and Hinchinbrook was an old house, like Oliver Cromwell lived there.
Okay.
Uh,
Wow.
Samuel Pepys lived there. So it was like 4 major people that lived there. Anyway, and
Very historical.
yeah,
figure.
very historical house, and it had the middle. There was a couple of staircases in the house, but we only were allowed to use the downstairs originally. In the school, some of our classrooms were in like the dining room and stuff, and we were not allowed up the main stairway. And actually, there's a chapel attached to the house.
Okay.
And it's now turned into a library. But when you open the door, there's actually a glass case where there's a skeleton,
Oh.
like buried in the floor that you would just.
Wow.
Would you walk over
You
it?
walk
Oh
over
my
it.
god.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
saw some of that
Yeah,
in
so
Italy.
it's-
Like I think it was common for the more prominent
Yeah,
figures.
prominent figures of the abbey
Yeah,
or the chapel
yeah.
back in the day to be buried in the ground, and they
Yeah.
just leave them there. So yeah, we saw a skeleton every day.
Wow.
But there
That
was
is
always
wild.
a rumor about a white lady. Then there was the formal staircase in the middle of the house
Uh-huh.
we were never allowed to use. as
Just because were they
students.
afraid you'd
No,
fall? Or?
no, it was just.
It's like museum kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
it
you
was
would
just
get.
like they didn't want
Preserving.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the teachers were allowed to use that formal staircase if they wanted to go up to the staff room.
But they
and
just
stuff
didn't
like.
want it over.
None of the students were
Okay.
allowed, but there was always rumors about the white
Okay.
lady
Wow.
coming down the stairway.
Huh.
And,
I
but you never saw it or
I
anything like
never
that?
saw her. We
But you
all
just
heard.
hear
Yeah,
about it.
there's
Okay.
always that. I think there's always a story of a white lady.
Right. There's
somewhere.
always a white lady.
There's
lady
a lot of
dress.
that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of these white,
So-
white clothes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, that was always
Wow.
interesting, because people be like thinking they heard stuff.
Yeah.
and then,
Right.
Yeah, so it was always like the standard ghost story.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you didn't think anything of it when you
Right.
looked across a skeleton, body parts and.
That is weird.
But
I
you
have never seen
yeah,
that.
Being
it's
that
in
you
our
had
school.
seen it so many times, like
Yeah.
it just
It's
wouldn't
normal.
even phase you.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever try to like skirt around it so you didn't walk?
No, it just was just a natural,
normal thing.
a normal thing to go through the chapel door to go into the library. There's a skeleton in the floor.
Oh my god. I'd be like, I'd be like,
I think because too, we were always aware of the history of our school
Oh,
and the
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because we lived at our school.
Cromwell. I know, I mean, you guys are going to think I'm so dumb, but I remember studying or learning about Cromwell in school, but I can't remember what
Yeah, I have no
century,
idea.
what,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
era
yeah,
that was.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
If I want, like, if it was 1400s or 600s, like,
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
But I know it was
Myself, actually.
No
really old
Yeah.
compared to America,
Yeah.
okay?
No idea.
Yeah. Yeah, we had like 4 famous people
Yeah,
that actually
wow.
lived in the house and lived at
Okay.
the school.
Cool.
Wow. I
Yeah,
thought it
there's
was
lot
a
of history
beautiful
there.
building.
Oh yeah, and the grounds were amazing. Then they were off grounds,